Hey folks, it's John with KT Tropical. Super excited to bring you the wrap up of all of these filter reviews that I've been doing over the last 6 or 7 weeks or so. If you haven't been following along, I have gone through and done reviews on the 6 most popular, most readily available hang-on back aquarium filters out there. I've gone through them in great detail, given you my opinions, the pros and cons, shown you how to set them up and all of that good stuff. If you haven't seen those videos yet, I'll put a link in one of these corners. I still haven't figured out what corner it is yet, but there'll be a little eye that'll pop up and you can click on that and go to the playlist and watch all of these if you want to before you watch this, or you could just stay here for the juicy stuff. I'm going to go through all 6 of these and just give you kind of like my final thoughts on all of these and then reveal at the end which one I believe is my favorite. I am going to do it in order. I'm going to give you my least favorite first and tell you all the reasons why, and then we'll work our way up to the best. Don't cheat. Don't skip to the end to see which one wins. That's not fair to everyone else that's watching along. So anyway, let's get to this. Let's get through these as quick as possible because it's late and I got to go to bed. Let's just do it. Before we get on with our list, I wanted to take a second to thank our channel sponsor, Extreme Fish Foods. If you have not checked out this fish food yet, folks, do yourself a favor. Link is in the description. Check it out. We've been feeding this to our fish for years. They make food for every kind of fish you have. Check it out. We absolutely love it, and I think you will be too. The link is in the description. So, all right, that's it. Let's get on with the list. All right, before I reveal number 6, I know you're like, come on, just get on with it. I want to stress that all of these filters are fine. You might be one of those people that you've already bought a filter and you're watching a bunch of videos about that filter. I do that all the time. I'll buy a product and then I'll watch reviews on it. I do the same thing with movies and stuff like that. If you've already bought my least favorite filter on the list, don't be ashamed and don't be mad at me because these are all fine. They're all gonna do the job. Some of them have more bells and whistles than others, but they're all fine, okay? So don't be ashamed. Don't feel bad if you have my least favorite on the list, because let's face it, it's just me talking here. Doesn't mean everybody's going to agree with me. My least favorite on the list is going to be the top fin. There's a few reasons. For one, it's kind of ugly. I mean, that's just me being honest with you. It's kind of old looking, old fashioned. No frills, no flashiness, no modernization to it. I don't know. It's just kind of an old looking filter. It looks like something I would have picked up in 1984. Also, this has the pump that is inside of the filter box. My personal favorite type is the type that has the pump that is in the aquarium, sending the water back to the filter box. That's the way I prefer it. I've made that very clear in my review videos. This one doesn't have that. This one has to pull the water from the tank, and I don't know. I feel like the ones with the internal pump are quieter, and I think they're more efficient. This one has it in the box. Doesn't make it a bad filter, but I don't know. It's just not as attractive. The positives that this has going for it, it has flow control, which is nice. It's easy to set up, easy to maintain, but I can say that about all of these. It's fine. It's a fine filter. I think that's even what I put in the title of my review for this filter. I think I just said, it's fine. It is. It's fine. It's going to do the job. It's just not my favorite on the list. All right, my number 5 on the list is going to be a tie with my number 4. Both of these filters are very similar. They look similar. They perform very well. Both of them do. And both of them have my favorite thing for a hang on the back filter. We just talked about it. Both of these have the pump inside the aquarium sending the water back to the filter box. That's the way I prefer it. And that's kind of weird that numbers 4 and 5 would have that. It kind of is like my primary feature that I really like in filters. And they're down at the bottom of the list. But it's just because the top 3 are so good that, you know, they had to go somewhere. My numbers 4 and 5 are going to be the Aqueon Quiet Flow and the Tetra Whisper. I'm going to put these at the exact same level. So I say they're number 4 and 5. Let's just say they're tied for number 4. We'll score it like golf does. They're tied for 4th place. Both of these filters they're both good filters. I'm not going to put them at the level of great, but I'm going to put them at the level of good. Again, they both have that internal pump, which I like very much. They're both, just like all of these filters, easy to maintain, easy to set up, all that. Cartridges are readily available. The Whisper actually has the cartridges that you can take the padding off and take the carbon off and keep the little frame and replace it. I don't get into all that nonsense. I just replace the cartridges. I don't even have one of these other than this one, so I'm sitting here lying to you. But if I was to have these, I would just pitch the cartridges and put a whole new one in. I wouldn't worry about trying to save 12 cents by rebuilding the cartridges. I don't know. Anyway, the Aqueons, maybe a little easier as far as the cartridges go because you don't have to mess with all that stuff. But both of these, very simple. Both of them extremely quiet. This one's even called the Quiet Flow, and this one's called the Whisper. Both very, very quiet. If you are someone that has an aquarium in your bedroom and you are not into the water flow sound while you're trying to sleep because it makes you have to pee in the middle of the night, these are going to be absolutely ideal for you because they have that internal pump. It is the number one feature in both of these as far as I'm concerned, and it is my primary feature that I look for in a hang on the back filter. I love that. Both of those have it. It's also a big bonus if you have a power outage. You never have to worry about these things restarting when the power comes back on because it just happens. It's perfect. It's not having to pull, it's actually pushing water up into the box. So you never have to worry about that. And I don't care what people say in the comment sections of some of these other reviews. There is no way you can absolutely 100% prevent that from happening. And when I say that, I mean the filter not restarting because the pump isn't strong enough to pull the water into the filter box. Okay, look, let me demonstrate this. This filter, okay, the first one we talked about, number 6, has the pump inside the filter box, which means it has to pull water through that intake hose and fill the box up in order to send the water back out to the aquarium. Sometimes if the water's a little bit low, just a little bit, it won't be able to draw the water in. If your power goes out while you're at work and it comes back on, it might not restart. All hang on the back filters are susceptible to that have the pump inside the filter box. All of them, like the Aqueon and the Tetra, what? All of them that have the pump inside the aquarium are never going to have that problem. So there you go. If you live in an area like I do, where the power goes out randomly all the time, then you might want to think about one of these that has the pump inside the aquarium. It's going to make your life so much easier. You're not going to lose sleep. It's great. But again, all three of those bottom three, they're very similar filters, except the one is ugly and has the pump inside the box, but they're all very easy to set up. They're all reliable. They're all easy to maintain. You're good to go with any of those three. But now let's get to the good stuff. Okay, so this is where things get very interesting because these are my personal favorite top 3 of the filters that I've reviewed. I know there's others that I haven't reviewed, but of these 6, these are my top 3. Everybody has their favorites. There are going to be people that are going to totally disagree with me on this, and that's okay. I can still call you a friend if we don't agree on what is the best filter and what is not. But this is where things get heated, and this is where things, can get a little squirrely. But my number 3, I didn't think was going to be my number 3 because I've had so many of them and they've been so good to me. My number 3 is going to be the Penguin. Now, this is probably not fair because Marineland has just recently updated this filter. I think. I know they did the big ones. I don't know if they've done the small ones. I'm not privileged enough to get these products sent to me for review like others that I know of. But no, those people deserve it. I'm just being funny. But I haven't gotten my hands on the new ones yet. But from what I've seen, the new ones, the new Penguin Marineland, they might be the best hang on the back filter out there. If I ever get my hands on one, I will definitely review it for you because everything that I wish this filter had, those do. which is the internal pump. We've been talking about it through this whole video so far. They have the pump that is inside the aquarium, where this filter, it's in the filter box. Now, with this particular filter, I've had dozens, more than dozens of these, and they've always been tanks. They've always been very reliable. I've used them for years and years and not had any problems with them at all. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a nostalgia thing. When I came back to this hobby, I was away from the hobby for a few years, came back to the hobby in 2009, I think it was, and these filters were just hot. They were, and so it brings me back to that excitement that I had when I first came back into the hobby. But I had these before then. These filters have been out for a long, long time, but I don't know. I have some kind of sentimental attachment to the Penguin filters. I'm getting really weird now. Let's move on. These, again, have always been very reliable. They're very quiet. They have the two-piece top, which is a little bit annoying and can make things rattle a little bit, but you just walk up to them and touch them, kind of like we've done on one of the others in this list. It's not a big deal, and I've never really been a problem. These have always been workhorses for me. I am a big fan of the Marineland Penguin series. I can't wait to get the new ones. This is my number 3. Okay. This is where things get real heated. This is where I'm going to make a lot of people very unhappy. But please understand, this is simply my opinion. This is my opinion about an aquarium filter. It's nothing to get really upset about. The reason why I'm keep repeating this is because people are very passionate about their aquarium filters and their aquarium equipment that they use. And if it's not your favorite, they look at you as the enemy. Don't look at me as the enemy. Both of these filters are amazing. And if you get either one of these, you're going to be absolutely thrilled with your purchase. But I like one a little bit more than the other. It doesn't necessarily mean it's better. It just means I like it more. My number 2, if you've been following along when I tell you what my number 2 is, you're going to know what number 1 is. My number 2 is going to be the AquaClear. AquaClears have been around for a very long time. As long as I can remember, AquaClears have been out there. They are absolutely amazing filters. This was the last review I did in the whole series, and a lot of people thought saving the best for last, I see. There were also a lot of people on the very first one I did, which was the Penguin, were saying, no need to watch all of the others because the Penguin, or excuse me, the AquaClear is going to win. I don't blame people for saying that. This is a phenomenal filter, but it has its quirks. And the quirks that this has are more quirks than my favorite one has, if that makes sense. And the main thing is, again, it is the pump inside the filter itself, not in the aquarium. It doesn't mean it's less efficient. It doesn't mean it's a terrible filter. No, it just means it's not the way I prefer. I prefer an automatic transmission. You might like a manual transmission. Doesn't mean either one of us are wrong. It just means we like things a different way. I like for my hang on the back filters to have the pump inside the aquarium. I've said it 100 times in this video already. This video is going to be 20 minutes long, and 19 minutes of it is going to be me saying that I like my pumps that way. This one doesn't have that. And the only other knock that I have on this filter is that lid. The lid just, it pisses me off sometimes, folks. This thing, brand new, out of the box, set it up for demonstration purposes on the video review that I did of this, and the top was rattling. I was able to demonstrate how to make it stop rattling. It's not that big of a deal. But it is a thing, and it is real. It does happen. It drives me crazy. I used to have like 7 or 8 of these things running at a time, and you just have to go through and tap them all to make them stop rattling. It drove me crazy. That is really the only negative that I could say about this filter. The fact that it has the pump inside the box, the only time that's ever really a problem is with power outages. And again, I don't care what people say in the comment sections. The filters that I have had that have restarted the least are aqua clears every time. When you have a power outage, if you have multiple aqua clears running, there's a good chance one or more of them might not restart when your power comes back on. Happens all the time, at least in my experience. And I bet you I've had 20 aqua clears in my however many years of fish keeping, and it's happened to almost all of them. So again, it's not that big of a deal. If you're around and the power goes out, just make sure it restarts. But if you're at work, that could be a problem. It's something to think about. I don't think it's a reason not to buy this filter, but it had to be talked about. There you go. But the positives, it is big. It's got a huge removable tray that you can put all different types of media in there to whatever it is that you like to work with. That is an amazing thing. It has flow control. It's not a dramatic flow control, but it works, and it works well. Everything about this filter is great, except for that daggone lid. Hopefully they've addressed that. If they're going to redo these, which they haven't done in a very long time, I hope they're going to do something about that lid. But this is something kind of silly, and my number one filter has this too. Something kind of silly, but I also like the fact that the top is perfectly flat. Kind of makes it like a little table that you can set stuff on when you're doing work. You put in water conditioner in, you can set it on there. It gives you a nice little place to rest things. It's also a good way to make the top stop rattling, but that's a really cool thing too, that the top is flat. But I can't even really believe I said that in the video. Let's get to my number one. All right, so if you've been watching this series, you know the only one I haven't talked about yet, my favorite hang on the back filter on the market today, keeping in mind that I have not tried the new Penguin filter. My favorite is going to be the Tidal series from Seachem. This is my honest truth here, folks. This filter is the first one I've ever seen. It's the first one I've ever used. It's the first one I've ever owned. And I'm not going to own it for long because I'm going to give it away to somebody on that video. But this is the first time I've had any experience with this filter, and I instantaneously loved it. Every single thing about this filter I love. It has that internal pump. Here we go again. I'm not going to harp on it. This one, that pump serves as almost like a skimmer, rather than having the intake tube that goes down into the water. I at first didn't really know about that, but the more I worked with it, I said, you know what? I like it, and I like it a lot.
I like it a lot.
I like that it's a skimmer up there at the top. Keeps things really rotating really well. I like that. I love the fact that it has an even bigger tray inside than the AquaClear does, that you can fill it up with all different kinds of media, whatever you prefer. It comes with biomedia. It comes with mechanical filtration. It comes with all that. But the box in it is so big that you can put almost anything in there. You can be very creative with this filter, and I like that a lot. I can only imagine how big the box is on the other sizes, the bigger ones. This is the smallest one in their line. The big one, I can only imagine how much stuff you could fit in there. It'd almost be like a canister filter. I love everything about this filter. I honestly do. I fell in love with it instantly. It was love at first sight. Absolutely. This one is going to be the one that I'm really going to be sad when I send it out to somebody, but I'm going to be happy for you because you are going to get a great filter and you're going to get it for free. If you want to know details on how to win these filters, you got to go watch the videos. That is sneaky of me, isn't it? Well, yeah, you know, YouTubers, we want people to watch our videos. But anyway, go watch those videos if you want to know how to enter to win these filters, any of these 6, all individually on the videos for those filters. I am going to be giving all of these away except for one, and I don't recall which one it is. And that's because Reno peed in it. And I don't think you're going to want me to send you a filter that has cat pee in it. But anyway, once again, my favorite, the Tidal 35, or the Tidal series. I know a lot of people are going to say, no way, it's the AquaClear. That's fine. I mean, the AquaClear is great too. It was my number 2. This one is my number 1. Seche pump. Super quiet. It doesn't make a sound. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to say one more thing about this. The most dramatic flow control of the whole lot. I mean, it comes out literally at like a trickle when it's turned all the way down, and when it's turned all the way up, it's moving some serious gallons through there. Absolutely amazing. The flow control on this, best flow control, quietest pump in the water, biggest box in the back or tray in the back for media. Everything's bigger, everything's faster, everything's quieter, everything's better about this filter as far as I'm concerned. You're going to pay for it. It's the most expensive of the lot too. It's double the cost of some of the ones on this list, but in my opinion, you get what you pay for. And with this one, you are getting an absolute gem. It is absolutely worth the money. So there you go. That is the wrap up of these filters. I like all of these. Again, folks, if you have any of these filters, you're fine. You're going to be good. The water is going to be filtered. It's going to be moving. Your fish are going to be happy. Everything's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. Don't be ashamed if you have the one that's on the bottom of my list. It's really no big deal. I have had an absolute blast doing this series. It's been a ton of fun. If you want to see more series like this, put an idea down below in the comment section. A couple of people have suggested air pumps. I don't know. That seems a little too boring to me. They make bubbles. There's not really a whole lot to compare other than aesthetics. You know, this one looks nicer than that one. I don't know. That'd be kind of boring to me, but let me know what you think would be a good thing to do next as far as a comparison of a variety of different products, the same product, but from different manufacturers. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I've certainly had fun with this one. I've had fun with you. I hope you've enjoyed it too. This has been a great time. And if you can give me a good idea, I can't wait to get started on the next one. So thank you all so much. Again, check out the individual videos if you want to know how to enter to win these filters. I've only got one of each, so somebody's going to get lucky. Anyway, check that out. I'm done. It's 10 o'clock at night, and I still got to edit this and put it up tomorrow. So that's it. That's it for me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.